It started with a knock at the door. A single knock, calm, almost polite. But on the other side of that door wasn't a friend or a neighbor. It was a man holding a knife, his breath shallow, his hands trembling. Inside the house, a father and his daughter sat on the couch, watching TV, unaware that in less than 5 minutes, their world would be ripped apart by blood, betrayal, and a deal made on Tinder. This wasn't a robbery gone wrong. This wasn't random. This was a hit. And it was ordered by someone who once said, "I love you." Before we begin today's story, please let us know where you are viewing from. Please remember to subscribe if you like this video. In the small town of Edison, New Jersey, people kept their heads down and minds to themselves. It was one of those suburban places where everyone knew everyone, or at least thought they did. The kind of town where drama lived behind closed doors and secrets didn't stay buried for long. On the surface, 34-year-old Marissa Delgado was just another single mom, raising her son, balancing work, and trying to find love again. Her neighbors described her as polite, quiet, and kept to herself, which is exactly the kind of thing you hear in documentaries right before the twist hits. Marissa had been through a bitter breakup with her ex-boyfriend, Daniel Reyes, a 36-year-old auto mechanic with full custody of his 9-year-old daughter, Elisa. Their relationship ended 2 years earlier, but the resentment? That never cooled. If anything, it aged like poison. She hated the way he talked about her in court. She hated that he won custody. And she especially hated that he seemed happy. Daniel, on the other hand, had moved on. He was trying to rebuild his life and give Elisa the kind of childhood he never had, one filled with bedtime stories, Saturday pancakes, and peace. He didn't talk to Marissa anymore. He didn't return her texts. He didn't respond to the occasional voicemail that blurred the line between longing and loathing. What he didn't know, what he couldn't have known, was that while he focused on his daughter, Marissa was creating a plan. A plan that started with swiping right. Enter Jeremy Cole, 29 years old, recently laid off, living with his sister in East Orange. On Tinder, Jeremy claimed to be a self-employed entrepreneur, which is dating app code for no job, but dreams. He matched with Marissa on a rainy Tuesday night in January. Their conversation escalated quickly. By Thursday, they'd exchanged numbers. By Friday, they were talking about how fake relationships were and how people always lie. And by Saturday, Marissa had sent him a picture. Not of herself, but of Daniel. The first thing Jeremy noticed was how normal Daniel looked. Buzz cut. Work shirt. Smiling beside a little girl in a school uniform. Jeremy asked, "Who's this?" Marissa replied, "The problem." At first, Jeremy laughed it off. But when she asked if he'd ever done something extreme for money, the tone shifted. "What are you talking about?" he texted. The reply came instantly, "How much to make a person disappear?" There's a moment in every crime where it can still be stopped. That moment came on the night of February 11th. Jeremy had been drinking. He was low on cash, behind on bills, desperate. And here was a woman attractive, persuasive, and intense offering $10,000 for one job. She said she'd pay $2,000 up front and the rest after it was done. No questions. No trail. Just silence. "It's not like they're good people," she added. "He ruined my life. And she's just like him." The next morning, Jeremy showed up outside Daniel's house. Hoodie. Gloves. Knife in his pocket. He told himself he was just scoping the place. But then Daniel opened the door. And once that door opened, the part of Jeremy that could have walked away, closed. What happened inside that house is the kind of horror you don't forget. Neighbors later said they heard screaming. A high-pitched scream, followed by something breaking, and then silence. It wasn't until the next day the police were called, after Elisa didn't show up to school and Daniel didn't answer calls. Officers arrived just after noon. They found Daniel in the kitchen. Multiple stab wounds. Defensive marks on his hands. Signs of a struggle. Elisa was upstairs. One wound. Clean. Almost surgical. The kind of thing that makes even veteran cops go quiet. News of the murders spread fast. Double homicide in Edison. A father and his daughter. No forced entry. No signs of robbery. It didn't make sense, until police pulled surveillance footage from a neighbor's doorbell camera. At 8:42 p.m. the night before, a man in a hoodie was seen walking up the driveway. At 8:58, he left, running. Using facial recognition and traffic cams, police tracked the suspect's movements. Jeremy was arrested 48 hours later at a gas station outside Newark. He was jittery, incoherent, and high. In his car, they found blood-stained gloves. At first, Jeremy claimed self-defense. Then he said it was a robbery. But once they showed him the messages, from Marissa, he cracked. "She made me do it," he said. "She said he deserved it." Detectives shifted focus. They obtained a warrant for Marissa's phone. What they found confirmed everything. Hundreds of messages, pictures, instructions, the address, the payout plan, even a playlist titled "Done Deal" she sent him the night before. When officers arrested her at her job, an insurance office in Paramus, she looked confused, calm, as if she thought none of it would ever come back to her. In court, the details were bone-chilling. Prosecutors laid it out in order. The Tinder match, the manipulation, the money, the murder. They said Marissa weaponized desire. That she took a desperate man and turned him into a killer using words like bait. The defense tried to claim she was mentally unstable. That she never believed he'd actually go through with it. That her messages were emotional venting. But there was too much. The jury didn't buy it. Neither did the judge. Jeremy was sentenced to life in prison without parole. During sentencing, he sobbed and apologized. "I was weak," he said. "I let her control me. I'll never forgive myself." Marissa was sentenced 2 months later, 2 life sentences, back-to-back, with no possibility of release. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. Just stared straight ahead, like she was watching someone else's movie. But this wasn't a movie. It was real. And 2 lives. Daniel and Elisa were gone because someone decided their pain was worth a price. The story left scars in Edison. Parents held their children closer. Neighbors watched each other more carefully. And Tinder? It became a cautionary tale. Some say evil wears a mask. Others say it smiles. In this case, it swiped right.